Top headlines. Kuki-Jo Council rejects call for Manipur NRC before census. Manipur women stage torch rally against NRC updation delay ahead of census. Manipur students clash with undrugged peers over missing phones at Kakinada Nursing College. Heavy rain triggers artificial flooding in several parts of Assam's Margarita residents rescue. Assam vehicles turned back from Meghalaya despite assurance of safe passage. Meghalaya to compensate Assam vehicles damaged in the Shillong violence. Two vehicles carrying 20 cattle seized at Arunachal. Two drivers detained. And no physical boarding pass required for immigration at Indian airports from September 1. Good evening. You're watching ELITETV Primetime English News. This is Joyshree giving the news in details. The Kuki-Jo Council (KJC) has opposed demands from some communities in Manipur for a National Register of Citizens (NRC) to be conducted before the census, saying demographic concerns should first be addressed through verified population data. In a statement issued on August 23, the KJC welcomed the decennial census, which was delayed from 2021 because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and said an impartial exercise was necessary amid competing claims about population and demographics during the Manipur conflict. The Council also begged delimitation based on verified demographic data, saying it would help ensure fair representation. On the NRC, however, the KJC said it was a national exercise and argued that neither a community nor a state government could independently decide to conduct a separate NRC in Manipur. There is no legitimate basis for any Manipur-based group or the state government to dictate the timing or implementation of the national NRC exercise, the Council said. The KJC said calls for an NRC before the census were largely based on the allegation and speculation about the Kuki-Jo community. It argued that such claims should instead be assessed against official demographic data generated through the census, demanding an NRC before the completion and publication of Census 2027 results in premature and unjustified. It said the Council also cited as experience of Assam, where the NRC exercise conducted under the Assam Accord of 1985 left around 19 lakh people out of the final list. It noted that the process remains tied up in legal challenges and pending appeals before foreigners' tribunals. The KJC said those seeking a similar exercise in Manipur should consider the complexity, implications, and consequences of such a process. It called on all stakeholders to allow the census to proceed without obstruction and urged them to respect the central government's authority over the NRC. The Council also appealed against using demographic issues for communal propaganda of victimization. A large number of women staged a torch rally in Imphal East Kurai area on Saturday night, August 22, demanding that the National Register of Citizens (NRC) be updated before the census is conducted in Manipur. Women from several areas in the Kurai Assembly constituency gathered at Lamlong Bazaar and marched through telepathy before returning to Lamlong. During the rally, protesters raised slogans opposing the conduct of the census without prior NRC updation and called for measures to prevent the entry of alleged illegal immigrants into the state. The protesters also criticized political leaders over what they described as inaction on the NRC issue. The rally was part of a series of protests being organized by the Campaign for Just and Fair Delimitations, which has been demanding NRC updation ahead of the census. The organization recently called a 48-hour general strike as per part of its agitation. JABD has announced further protests, including torch rallies every night. The group has also called for a boycott of state and central government offices with exemption for essential services such as health, education, water supply, and electricity. The Asta Lakshmi Darshan Youth Exchange Program for FY 2026-27 organized by the National Institute of Technology Manipur in collaboration with the Jawaharlal Nehru Manipur Dance Academy Imphal provided more than 200 delegates and participants on an opportunity to experience the rich cultural traditions and heritage of Manipur. The cultural program held at JNMDA brought together youth and delegates from different parts of the country with the objective of promoting cultural exchange, youth interaction, mutual understanding, and national integration. Professor Kumukchan Tomba Singh, Registrar, NIT Manipur, said that Manipur is a state of diverse cultures and traditions. He highlighted that the state has 34 recognized tribes, is possessing its own distinctive culture, tradition, and identity. He said that the diversity of Manipur is an important part of the cultural richness of the state and the country. Speaking as a chief guest, N.G. Nongyai, former member of the Manipur State Human Rights Commission, highlighted several major challenges confronting the Northeast region. He identified refugee-related concerns arising from the situation in neighboring Myanmar, socio-economic challenges including poor road connectivity and infrastructure, and the problem of insurgency as major issues requiring attention. He stressed the need for concerted efforts to address these challenges in order to ensure peace, stability, development, and the protection of the interests and identity of indigenous communities. He cautioned that if such issues are not addressed effectively, the indigenous population could face serious long-term social and economic consequences. Dr. L. Lenin Singh, coordinator, highlighted the importance of the Youth Exchange Program in enabling young people from different parts of India to understand Manipur's cultural heritage and interact with its people. The visiting delegates expressed their appreciation for the cultural richness of Manipur. Several participants said that they had never imagined that such a small state could possess such a rich and diverse cultural tradition. They expressed happiness at witnessing the cultural performances and interacting with the people of Manipur. The participants also said that they will share their experiences with people in their respective places and convey that Manipur may be a small state, but its people are peace-loving and welcoming with a rich cultural heritage. As part of the program, the delegates visited Lok Bhavan, the Zoological Garden, Imakaital, Andro, and Kakching, getting first-hand exposure to the state's cultural, historical, social, and natural heritage. The delegates also interacted with the Deputy Commissioner of Kakching, discussing the district cultural heritage, local traditions, and issues concerning youth and community development. The cultural program at JNMDA featured traditional dance performances by artists and students of the academy. The performances showcased the vibrant artistic traditions of Manipur and were warmly appreciated by the visiting delegates. The organizers had said that the program would help create greater awareness of Manipur's cultural diversity among young people from other parts of the country and strengthen the spirit of national integration through cultural exchange. A missing mobile phone triggered a tense confrontation between students from the Northeast and local students at the nursing college in Kakinada, Andhra Pradesh on August 21, prompting the district administration to move students to separate hostel as a precaution. The dispute began at SK College of Nursing after a phone belonging to a Northeast student was reported missing. What started as a disagreement over the phone reportedly escalated into a confrontation involving students from the Northeast, including Manipur and Telugu-speaking students. The situation prompted intervention by the Kakinada district administration and police, who reached the hostel and took steps to prevent the confrontation from escalating further. Students from the Northeast were subsequently moved to separate accommodation. The administration also shifted 31 students from other states to another hostel after obtaining their consent, citing the need to maintain peace and ensure everyone's safety. The Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Office said Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu took note of the incident and directed senior officials to act immediately. Following his intervention, the district collector and superintendent of police oversaw the arrangement for the students and their security. Some Northeast students were reportedly injured during the confrontation. Videos and photographs from the aftermath show students with visible injuries. The incident also led to heightened tension inside the hostel, with some students reportedly taking shelter indoors. The response from the authorities was welcomed by students from Manipur, who later said they were safe and thanked the district administration and police for arranging separate accommodation and security. Former Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh also intervened, saying he had contacted the Andhra Pradesh Minister Office over the incident. According to Singh, officials informed him that the students had been moved to another building and that a women sub-inspector had been deployed with the overnight. Singh thanked Naidu for what he called his kind and timely intervention, saying the measures taken to ensure the students' safety and well-being were appreciated. Officials said the situation has since been brought under control and that the issue has been resolved. Security arrangements remain in place to prevent any further tension at the college. Several areas of Margarita subdivision in Assam's Tinsukia district were inundated following heavy rainfall, with artificial flooding reported in multiple wards of the Margarita Municipal Board and parts of Ledo Colliery. Bijanagar, Matikat and Ithakola were among the areas affected, where floodwater entered several homes and disrupted normal life. Residents alleged that inadequate drainage facilities and the narrowing of a local drain have contributed to recurring waterlogging in the area, with even short spells of heavy rain causing artificial flooding. Following information about the situation, Ledo Police Outpost in charge Rosen Thapa launched a rescue operation with the assistance of the State Disaster Response Force. Several affected residents were rescued and shifted to safe location. Food and relief materials were also arranged for the affected people following the initiative of the police official. Residents have demanded a permanent solution to the recurring waterlogging problem, including improved drainage facilities and the cleaning and reconstruction of existing drains and drainage channels. Assam registered vehicles heading towards Shillong were reportedly turned back from Barapani on Sunday, August 23, even as the governments of Assam and Meghalaya had agreed a day earlier on measures to restore normalcy and ensure safe movement of vehicles and tourists between the two states. According to reports, vehicles from Assam were stopped and sent back by members of a Meghalaya Drivers Association. Protests also continued at several locations in Meghalaya on Sunday. The development came a day after Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said an understanding reached between representatives of the two states in Guwahati would help restore normalcy following the violence in Shillong on August 19. The meeting held at Kakinada State Guest House in Guwahati was attended by representatives of both governments, The Assam delegation was led by Minister Atul Bora, while Meghalaya Deputy Chief Minister Sanyalwadar led the Meghalaya team. The two governments agreed on a series of measures to facilitate the safe movement of tourists, passengers and vehicles following the violence. Meghalaya expressed regret over the August 19 incidents and assured Assam that strict legal action would be taken against those found involved. Dar said a special team had been formed to identify those involved and that 15 FIRs had been registered. Bora said 3 KSU leaders, including the organization's president and secretary, had been arrested in connection with the violence. 5 people allegedly involved in attacks on Assam registered vehicles had also been identified, he said. The Meghalaya government has issued compensation for Assam registered vehicle damage during the violence in Shillong on August 19 and said it will bear the medical expenses of those injured in the incident. The assurance was given during a joint meeting between the governments of Meghalaya and Assam on August 22 to review the situation following the violence during a Khasi Students' Union bike rally. Meghalaya Deputy Chief Minister S. Dar and Assam Minister Atul Bora led the meeting, which was attended by senior officials from the both states. At least 31 vehicles were damaged, 16 people were injured, and 2 vehicles were set on fire during the violence, according to the East Khasi Hills Superintendent of Police, Vivek Sayam. The Meghalaya government expressed regret over the incident and assured that those responsible would face action. It said 15 FIRs have been registered so far and 5 masked individuals allegedly involved in attacks on Assam registered vehicles have been identified. A special investigation team has also been formed to identify others involved in the violence and ensure the prosecution. Meghalaya's commercial taxi operators stepped up the protest at Umiam on August 23, questioning the state government's handling of the ongoing dispute between vehicle operators from Meghalaya and Assam. Members of the All Khasi Meghalaya Tourist Tax Association assembled at Umiam, where they demanded that the grievances of Meghalaya drivers be given equal consideration in discussion with the Assam government. A key point of contention was the decision to compensate Assam vehicle owners whose vehicles were damaged in Shillong. The taxi bodies claimed that no corresponding assurance had been given for Meghalaya commercial vehicles allegedly damaged in Assam. The issue came up after a meeting between ministers from the two states at Khanapara on August 22. The association said the government's response following the meeting had reinforced their perception that the concerns of Meghalaya's taxi operators were being overlooked. They also expressed dissatisfaction with Deputy Chief Minister Sanyalwadar, alleging that he did not engage with protesters at Umiam and Barinahat. After returning from the interstate meeting, the association said they expected the Deputy Chief Minister to acknowledge their concern and explain the government's position. The protesters maintained that any effort to defuse the dispute must take into account the losses suffered by operators on both sides. They called on the Meghalaya government to avoid an approach that they allege placed greater emphasis on Assam grievances. Now, let's have a short commercial break.
SIRगी claim fine tawbikrabo yam phare mathangda kari sathagdage haibadu haijarabage electoral registration officer haibadi ERO na claim khudimak amamam laukhatuna yengi amata sithaba tawdana misang mikhai naidana masigi damaktani claims amasung objections disposal period haina lairibase adumda ERO dagi letter amaki khuthangda kauraknabadi chapiyu mipaningai oite asengbadi nahaki claim du serious oina laure haibatu taklibani mari lainaba document singdi pubirakpa tare fazana da haibiyu ERO na fazana atumak tabigani madudasu karigumba laikhai taba ngamdragasu atai atopa upai lairi District Election Officer haibadi DC da natraga Chief Electoral Officer Manipur dasu apil taubagi khudong saba adu bizari karigumba atopa samamnaba khangingba lairagasu BLO natraga headline number 1950 da poll taubiraga atumak hangbiba yagani final electoral roll asi lagliba September gi tarik tarukta phongnagani SIR gi pandamdi eligible oiba voter khudimak amata sithadana voter list asida ming yahonnabani I am in RU
New Life Advanced Diabetes Healing and Wellness Healthcare Center na natural oiba pambai sing amadi matamga chunarabu khutsu khulai kya sizinaduna tongan balaina layong kaya mai pakna laying jari mafam asida laying jari ba laina layong sing adudi diabetes, liver disease, arthritis, lutong chikpa naba, constipation, sinus, blood pressure, piles, gallbladder amasung kidney nung leiba kidney ga mari lainaba layong sing amadi asama na singbani diabetes ki oina diabetes na ohelakpa khongkho chikpa naba khongya saba tumba yadaba hakchang sokthagana chingba layong khudimak laying duna chada mari futara manga gi chang da reverse tawba ngamle constipation gi oina numit tara manga ni da mapung phana phanba ngamle amadi blood pressure tha amadagi tha ahum phawbagi manungda normal ohanba ngamle ngasi maglangsin bio New Life Advanced Diabetes Healing and Wellness Healthcare Center Thangmaiban DM University gi makha thangba kabole kai nongchu akhoi contact number 9856148205
Manipur के अहानबा न्यूरो पेशेंट्स के अमतंगाइरबा स्पेशलाइज्ड हॉस्पिटल न्यूरो इमरजेंसी ट्रॉमा नेट मल्टी स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल सिंगजोय मथक टोंगथाम लिकाय दा हानुकचरे हॉस्पिटल असना मरुइना बीपी स्ट्रोक ब्रेन ट्यूमर लम्बी की खुदोंथिबा स्पाइनल डिस्क प्रोलैप्स स्पाइनल ट्यूमर अमदी माइग्रेन चिंगबा लायंगली हॉस्पिटल असदा न्यूरो की लायंग बद चंगबा अफबो मखल की खुसु खुलाई अमदी मशीन मरंग कायदे लई मशीना कोक मरी लेनबा तोंगान तोंबा मखल की अनाबा सिंग निंगथिना लायंगली lamdam masida neurosurgeon yamna tangaliba maramna chingmadi arapa mafumdagi lakpa anabasi neurosurgeon unanaba honabada awaba kya mayongdari masida sunatna matam thintana anaba lainguna maram oraga khudong thiba kya sumayongdari masi puna maktagi kharadu orabusu kananaba Dr. Parkinson Singh MCS Neurosurgery AIMS New Delhi na masamaki hospital asida pung kunmari leiduna anaba sing layingli hospital asida ataba mamalda laying matanatana OPD general amadi ICU beds operation medicine x-ray amadi lab kamai na basnasu ataba mamalda phangalli ngasi maglangshin biro amadi kudong saba singa silobiho hena kubam road gidamak hospital asigi telephone number 7005534166 natraga 8974572154 da pau phabirak yagani
Welcome back. Here we have more news. The Meghalaya Linguistic Minority Development Forum has approached the Meghalaya High Court over recent incidents of vandalism and violence in Shillong, seeking stricter policing of rallies, action against those involved, and the ceremonial restoration of damaged national icons. In a statement, the forum said it had filed a letter petition before the Chief Justice of the Meghalaya High Court. Among its demands are court-mandated standard operating procedures for rallies, a ban on face coverings that conceal the identity of protester, the seizure of unregistered vehicles before they enter protest routes, drone surveillance, and an independent inquiry into alleged police lapses. The forum said peaceful protests were a democratic right but argued that demonstration turning into faceless mob violence undermined public safety and governance. MLMDF alleged that the masked riders on unregistered two-wheelers had been able to bypass checkpoints during recent unrest. It claimed that the residents, workers, tourists, and commuters, including women and children, had been affected by incidents of stone pelting and intimidation. The forum also submitted a representation to the East Khasi Hill Deputy Commissioner asking the administration to avoid routing rallies through densely populated multi-community residential areas. It called for stricter enforcement of existing SOPs, responsible policing, and action against those responsible for the violence. Illegal cattle transportation continues to be reported in Assam's Nagaland, with Kachatoli police seizing 2 vehicles allegedly carrying 20 cattle during a late-night operation. Acting on a tip-top, police intercepted and seized the 2 cattle-laden vehicles at Kachatoli. According to police, the vehicles were carrying the cattle illegally. The 2 drivers were detained in connection with the case and are being questioned. The seized vehicles have been identified by registration number AS02 DC7438 and AS02E 3648. According to the allegation, cattle stolen from different parts of Nagaland are being transported through Karbi Anglong and allegedly sent onward to Bangladesh by a section of cattle smugglers. Police have initiated an investigation to ascertain the source of the cattle, the intended destination, and the network involved in the alleged illegal transportation. A 29-year-old woman was swept away while swimming in the Nyamjangsu River at the Namsering village under Lumla Circle in Arunachal Pradesh, Tawang district on Sunday, August 23, prompting a search operation by the local residents and Sasastra Simabal SSB personnel. The man has been identified as the son of former Tawang district medical officer Dr. Wangdi Lama. According to the preliminary information, the incident took place while the man was swimming in the river. He was reportedly swept away by the strong current and could not be traced immediately. Following the incident, local villagers joined SSB personnel in launching a search and rescue operation along the river. Teams are continuing efforts to locate the missing man and recover him from the river. The operation is currently underway with authorities and local residents searching stretches of the Nyamjangsu River and its surrounding areas. Purvanchal Veiko Sangha, a leading Buddhist monk organization in Assam and Arunachal Pradesh with support from Swiss devotee Monica Thadi, organized a landslide relief service at Kongan village in the Nagaland's Mon district on August 23. The relief initiative was aimed at assisting families affected by the devastating landslide that struck Kongan village on July 24. The landslide blocked roads in the area, leaving local residents in a difficult situation. Speaking about the initiative, Purvanchal Veiko Sangha General Secretary Nyan Loka Veiko said the organization had early visited flood-affected villages in Sivasagar and Charaidio district to distribute relief materials. He said that the group subsequently traveled to Kongan village to extend assistance to families affected by the landslide. Essential commodities were distributed among more than 170 affected households during the relief program. Nyana Loka Veku said people must come forward to support those affected by floods and landslide in Assam and Nagaland during difficult times, stressing that humanity is greater than religion. A senior member of the Konyak Naga community in Kongan village expressed gratitude for the assistance, describing the support as a major help that would be remembered by the affected community. The relief program highlighted the spirit of humanitarian assistance and solidarity across communities during times of natural disasters. International passengers departing from Indian airports will no longer be required to carry a physical boarding pass or get a stamp at immigration counters from September 1 as the Bureau of Immigration moves to accept electronic boarding passes for immigration clearance. Under the new system, passengers traveling abroad can display their e-boarding passes on smartphone and immigration counters. Physical boarding passes will continue to be accepted, but immigration officials will no longer stamp them. The decision follows a directive issued by the BOI under the Ministry of Home Affairs to airport authorities across the country. Officials said the BOI reviewed that the existing practice and found that the mandatory use and stamping of physical boarding passes was causing inconvenience to international travelers. In some cases, incorrectly or improperly stamped boarding passes also created difficulties in reading the documents. Following the review, the immigration authorities decided to discontinue the mandatory requirement for physical boarding passes and end the practice of stamping them at immigration counters at international airports. The Central's Industrial Security Forces, which handles passenger security screening at airport, does not stamp boarding passes during the frisking of international passengers. The practice of CISF stamping boarding passes for domestic and international passengers was discontinued several years ago. The latest move is aimed at simplifying immigration procedures and increasing the use of digital system in passenger processing. Meanwhile, the government is also examining a pilot project to do away with immigration entry and exit stamps for Indian passport holders. Officials said the system could be expanded to airports across the country after the pilot project is assessed. In a separate development, the Airport Economic Regulatory Authority on Friday revised downward the user development fee at Bengaluru's Kempegowda International Airport for the 5-year control period ending March 2031. Under the revised structure, the UDF has been fixed at Rs 300 for domestic passengers and Rs 997 for international passengers. For the first time, ARA has implemented the incremental average revenue requirement framework. Under the system, costs incurred by the Bengaluru airport operator on major capital expenditure project can be recovered from passengers only after the projects are completed. For ELITETV News Channel, contact to the email address info@elitv.in or 9402890982 and subscribe to ELITETV YouTube channel or follow on Facebook page, Instagram and X for more information about the channel. Before we wind up, let's have the headlines again. Kuki-Zo Council rejects call for Manipur NRC before census. Manipur women stage torch rally against NRC updation delay ahead of census. Norris students class return drop years over missing phone at Kakinada Nursing College. Heavy rain triggers artificial flooding in several parts of Assam. Margarita residents rescued. Assam vehicle turned back from Nagaland despite assurance of safe passage. Meghalaya to compensate Assam vehicles damaged in Shillong violence. Two vehicles carrying 20 cattle seized at Kachatoli to drivers detained. And no physical boarding pass required for immigration at Indian airport from September 1. That's all for today. Thank you again for being with us.